Hello, my name is Ana Nunez, and my course is called Culturally Responsive Classrooms Middle School. On this tab right here, I have the welcome, and about the teacher information, I have given the educators an opportunity to introduce themselves through a discussion post. On the objectives and overview, this course will allow educators to see the importance of having a culturally responsive classroom where students are allowed to explore their own culture regardless of content. Here we have the course objectives. And educators by the end of the course will independently identify and describe the benefits of a culturally responsive classroom, choose and share different instructional material strategies for their teaching subject, and develop a lesson plan where they will be incorporating culturally teaching material that can be used effectively in their classrooms right now. We also have the general information, etiquette, guidelines, computer requirements. My course is composed of 3 weeks. And the first week, the topic is importance of culturally responsive classrooms. During this week, we will go over what it is to have a culturally responsive classroom, what does it look like, and what are the benefits of having a classroom like this. The learning objective and lecture for this week. Educators will explain what is culturally responsive classroom, describe the benefits of having a culturally responsive classroom, and summarize culturally responsive teaching misconceptions. I have given them an overview. Also, I have provided the links for everything that they have to read, and I have provided a video where possible, and usually it's a video for everything, so they have something for visual. Discussion number 1. This, I have provided the 2 links for the 2 articles that we read in our lecture, and then they're going through the questions. Assignment number 1 is why do you teach? And this one is just a little brainstorm about the reasons of why they become a teacher. This will give them a foundation of why having a culturally responsive classroom can have an impact on not just on their students, but also them as a teacher. And discussion number 2, this is where they're going to be reading about the misconceptions of having a culturally responsive classroom. The reason of why I chose this one is because there are many misconceptions, and teachers think that just by providing a culture, they're just providing culture materials such as something from a different culture, that is having a culturally responsive classroom. And it's not. They are the ones that are having to create that environment for their students where their backgrounds are acknowledged, they're valued, the students are feeling valued, they are feeling that they belong somewhere. So the teacher is the one creating that environment for the student. Week number 2, we're going to go over the instructional materials and strategies. So during this week, they will go over different instructional materials that can be used in their classrooms and how can they use them effectively. The learning objectives, educators will discuss how to create a culturally responsive classroom. They will choose and share different instructional material strategies that they can use in their classroom right now, and begin creating a lesson plan where they will show different cultural responsive activities. I have also provided 2 links for 2 articles that they can go ahead and read, and 2 videos. Right here for discussion number 1. They are going through an article that it's giving them 15 culturally responsive teaching strategies. So they're able to choose 3 out of the 15 to be able to implement in their classroom. So they're going to tell us why. And then one of the strategies that they would have most difficult implementing in their classroom and why. Lesson plan assignment number 1. On here, I have given them a lesson plan template, culturally responsive classroom lesson rubric, and also I have given them a video where they can see the 5E lesson plan format that gives the students the time to engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and if the teacher is able to evaluate at the same time. I have also given them additional materials that if they want to go ahead and use, they can. This is what the rubric looks like. This way educators know the expectations of the lesson plan, and I have also provided the template that this is what it looks like. And discussion number 2 on this one, I am asking 2 questions. And the first one is, does content matter when trying to create a culturally responsive classroom? And they have to explain. And then also they have to give an example of a culturally responsive strategy that they're planning on using on their lesson plan. And I have also provided another video for them. Week number 3, this is where their final project is due. This week they will continue working on the lesson plan and demonstrate knowledge on how to create a culturally responsive classroom. Lesson objective and the lecture. Educators will provide feedback to one of their peers, finalize their final project and create a visual aid for their lesson plan, and summarize their final thoughts on the course. I have given them 2 articles to look at the importance of visual aids, and here I have created a video using the Screencast-O-Matic to go ahead and give them an example of a classroom visual aid using Google Slides. I grabbed one of my current lesson plans and my Google slide, and I used that one to create the video. Discussion number 1 on this one, educators are having to upload their lesson plan as is so they can go ahead and start getting feedback. And so they're having the opportunity to give and receive feedback at the same time. Well, within the week. This is their final project, which is due. On here, it's just a reminder of the lesson plan template and the rubric that I have provided for them to guide themselves. And also here, I have given them a video where, in case they don't want to use a PowerPoint or a Google slide, they have 5 other alternatives such as Prezi on here. And so I'm giving them a video for them to watch. And discussion number 2 is their final thoughts. On here, I have giving them at least 2 questions to go ahead and answer. They can add more information, but this is another way for me to get feedback. And then question number 1 is, what do you know now that you didn't know before the beginning of this 3 weeks? And how can you make sure you begin having a culturally responsive classroom regardless of content that you teach? And this is all for my course. Thank you. And any feedback is greatly appreciated. Thank you.